Yeah, you guys definitely want to get down to Brookside Gardens here in Maryland. There are, I don't know how many butterflies, but they are so beautiful. And we're here with David from the National Wildlife Federation, learning all about them here. So can you kind of describe, is this like a natural habitat for the butterflies?
Well, this is kind of a simulation of what a natural habitat would look like. There are species from all over the world, both butterflies and plants. But one of the most amazing things about this is that you can be inspired here to plant a butterfly garden just like this in your own yard.
Love that.
Yeah.
And we don't even have to have a yard. You could just have, you know, like a little back area or something, or a balcony.
If you can plant something, even in a container, you can create a butterfly garden and really help support these species. Now, there are some butterfly species like the monarch butterfly, you know, iconic black and orange butterfly. We all have seen them, know them, love them. They've declined by 90% in just the last 20 years.
Why is that?
Well, it's because they don't have habitat. They don't have the plants that they need to survive. And so that's why the National Wildlife Federation's Garden for Wildlife program is all about inspiring people to plant butterfly gardens. So again, if you come to Brookside Gardens, you can get really great ideas on some of the plants that will work in your yard, and also some cool projects that you can do to actually help attract more butterflies. So I'm going to get you working here.
So later we are going to plant one of those butterfly gardens, and
Yes.
we're even going to create some sort of like puddling thing, which is what they eat. They like to eat soil, like drink it up with water. But right now we're creating something that has fruit in it.
Exactly. So butterflies, they don't have a chewing mouth. They have a mouth like a straw. And so normally what they're eating is flower nectar. But some butterflies love to eat really delicious things like rotting fruit or animal dung, or even the rotting carcasses of dead animals. So next time you see a butterfly flying around out there,
delicious?
yeah, and you think of them, associate them with these beautiful flowers, just
Let
remember,
them land on you and lick you.
yeah, so what you can do is, and I'm going to let you chop up that banana.
Alrighty.
So basically what you want to do is just get some old fruit.
Yep.
And go ahead and...
So I'm going to chop this up a little
Here,
bit,
you know what?
and we just leave
I'll
that
help
out.
you there. Yeah, what you do is you leave this out, and you could even put a little bit of splash of water on there, or even like if you have a little bit of wine left over, because...
I guess we could share with the butterflies.
Right,
They are
exactly,
that beautiful.
because what happens is the fruit ferments, and that is actually attractive to them. And so you might get really cool woodland butterflies like commas or question marks, really interesting
Those
species.
are the types?
Those because they have little marks on their wings that look like those punctuation points.
Is it true that there are 250,000 species of butterflies?
There's a whole lot of butterfly species out
I was
there.
doing a guessing game with my photographer as we drove over here, and he said 100. I said, wrong. 200? Not even close.
Thousands. Insects
So
are the
cool.
most diverse group of wildlife on the planet, and they count as wildlife. A lot of people think of wildlife, they think of wolves and bison and bears and lions, but insects are wildlife. And so again, you can create a wildlife-friendly garden, get it certified by the National Wildlife Federation. In fact, Brookside Gardens has their grounds certified as a wildlife habitat, and everybody at home can do this. So again, come out here, be inspired, look at these gorgeous butterflies, these beautiful plants, and get ideas on what you can do right in your own yard.
Just about this area here, you guys can kind of take a look. I mean, butterflies are literally everywhere. We've had to watch where we step because they sometimes will land on the ground. They'll fly right in front of you. They said, if you have sweat on you, they might even land on you.
Yeah.
So I've had a bunch around my armpits all morning long. So David, we're going to spend the morning with you. We're going to make some more DIY projects that everybody can do at home, especially with their kids on these hot days, and attract some butterflies to your own yards and make sure that the species is continuing to grow. All right, guys, we'll send it back to you in the studio. Yeah, Melissa, so when we were last here, we were learning with David from the National Wildlife Federation about how butterflies eat. Now we're learning how they drink, and it's like they're always sipping through a straw.
That's right. They don't have chewing mouths. They have a straw-like mouth called a proboscis. So that's why when they eat, it has to be liquid. So it's either flower nectar or liquid from rotting fruit. So what we're going to talk about here is the second thing that all animals need. Everything needs to eat. Everything also needs to drink. Okay.
And they like it with soil.
Yeah. So what we're going to do here, we're going to create a butterfly puddling area. This is actually a project from Ranger Rick magazine, and it's something that kids can do, but grown-ups can do it too. So I'm going to have you, Megan, just pour some of that sand in there while I put some of this.
Kind of just right on top?
Exactly, yeah. All I'm doing here is that I've got some really dark, rich garden soil, some sand. We're going to put in some gravel. Okay. Ooh. Now, people are probably thinking like, what the heck does this have to do with butterflies? So mix that all in really well. No. Butterflies can't go to, say, a bird bath filled with water and get a drink because they're insects and they might get caught in the water. So what you can do is you can create a puddling area like this.
Yep.
Just a flower pot drainage dish. You kind of mix up all this soil. It's filled with minerals, and then you just moisten it. And what happens is that those butterflies come in and they will land on this muddy soil, which is is now filled with minerals, and they will suck up, see that little bit of water right there? Just enough for the butterflies to kind of get a little bit of a drink, not big enough for mosquitoes. You don't want to make a pool out of this.
I was just going to ask you, when it rains, maybe we should bring this in?
Or you can just tip it over and drain it out. Now, this is a great way to, make a great water feature, a puddling area. It's basically just mud without having a big mud patch in your yard because you just put it in the dish and it looks beautiful.
It was thoughtful, exactly. Should we try it out like this?
Now, you can try it.
Now, something that you said is a really cool thing that people should get involved in is trying to do the butterfly wings. I go a little nuts.
Yeah, the National Wildlife Federation has the Butterfly Heroes Pledge. Everybody out there can make the butterfly symbol, American Sign Language, and pledge to plant a butterfly garden. We're going to be talking about how to do that in like 2 minutes.
I did it on my social media pages, so hopefully you guys can too. We're going to be using this when we come back here to make more things for the butterflies, a home for them. Guys, stay with us. For now, we'll send it over to the studio and see what you guys are doing. Hey, welcome back to Great Day Washington. This morning I'm here with David from the National Wildlife Federation, and whether you live at, someplace in the rural area or in the city, you can make a home for butterflies, and it will actually make a difference in the world, including what we eat every day. Before we get to that, David, walk us through what we're doing here.
So what I'm doing here is planting a container garden for butterflies and other pollinators. Super simple. I live right in Washington, D.C. I don't have a big yard, but I plant in containers. So let's, I'm actually gonna fill this up for you, and I want you to get your hands dirty in here, Megan, and just start planting away.
It's like a spa with all the mud.
Now what you wanna think about when you're planting a container garden for pollinators and other butterflies is you wanna make sure that they have food both for the adult butterflies. So you can see all these beautiful blooming plants, and go ahead and just start planting them in here. You wanna plant densely, but you also want to make sure that you have plants for the caterpillars of the butterfly. Butterfly caterpillars can only eat certain plants. We call them host plants. Without them, the butterflies cannot complete their life cycle. Now, remember we were talking a minute ago about the monarch butterfly, how it's declined by 90%?
Yeah.
It's mostly because we've gotten rid of milkweed. That's the only host plant for the monarch caterpillar. Without
milkweed.
Yeah, and so I want to show you a few different amazing examples of milkweed. So this is common milkweed, really robust. It will fill in a big patch like that. But over here, we've got a few other varieties that are also just as amazing and maybe a little bit better for your garden. This orange one is called butterfly weed. This grows in dry soils. This beautiful purple one is kind of a rare one around here, but it's native. It's called purple milkweed. And then this stuff over here with the really great pink flower, this is swamp milkweed. This one you can find in nurseries everywhere. I grew this in my yard in DC. And it attracts butterflies, monarch caterpillars, native bees, all of the different pollinators that we're going to be celebrating for National Pollinator Week, which is June 20th through 26th. Perfect time to plant a butterfly garden.
And now, again, going back to the fact that it affects kind of the food that we eat, and that's because it goes back to the fact that they're pollinators.
One in three bites of food we have comes from bee pollinators. They're really important. You can save them in your yard by creating a butterfly and pollinator garden, even in a container.
It's so important to do for nature, and who would know that better than the nature geek is what he calls himself, guys.
That's true.
We're going to be back here later in the hour at Brookside Gardens. Such a cool place to head to learn more about butterflies. But for now, we'll send it to you in the studio.
You hear that? If you hear nothing, there could be a butterfly around you. Listen, nothing. No. Hey, listen, actually, Meaghan Mooney's out there with a lot of butterflies. My man Dave, and learning more and more and teaching us about butterflies. What's going on out there?
So cool, Chris, that you could hear the butterflies from all the way over there. David, I know you guys have done a lot of things together, you and Chris, and he is so awesome, knows so much about it. And when we were last left off, we were talking about how there's certain plants that need to be planted in order for the caterpillars to eat, and caterpillars are what turns into butterflies.
Exactly.
So we can come here to Brookside Gardens and learn what those flowers are so that we can plant them in our own homes, right?
Exactly. You want to plant the nectar plants for the adults, you want to plant the host plants for the caterpillars, and if you plant both of them, you'll be more successful at attracting butterflies.
Can we see some of them right down here?
Sure, yeah. I mean, these are just some examples of some native plants that will grow here to attract butterflies. This is Coreopsis. We've got phlox over here. We've got purple coneflower. These guys are just about to start blooming. We have liatris here. So these are all things that are great. Nectar plants. We already talked about the milkweed that you can plant to be the host plant for the monarch butterfly caterpillars.
And that there were many different types of milkweed. Some were really colorful and cool.
Exactly, yeah. And so to celebrate the awesome stuff that Brookside Gardens has done to create a wildlife habitat, I have actually certified this as a National Wildlife Federation certified wildlife habitat. There's Ranger Rick right there.
Certified is right.
Everybody at home can do this. So if you come to Brookside Gardens, you can learn what plants you can put in your yard, your garden, even if it's in a container, even if you live downtown. If you plant it, you can do something good for the butterflies and get it certified by the National Wildlife
If
Federation.
you plant it, it will grow. Now, this is something you can literally pick up right here after you do it. The ladies are shy here this morning, but there's about 5 or 6 of them behind us who actually planted everything here. And I mean, it took a lot of labor and a lot of hard work, and it's a gorgeous garden. So many butterflies have been attracted around here all morning
And the
long.
staff here is a wealth of knowledge. Come to Brookside, ask them what to plant, and they will help you.
And then you can go to the store and get your own and make it a whole summer project.
That's right.
Guys, what do you think? You're going to create some gardens? Marquette, maybe you and your son, Chris, in your new yard?
I would love to do that, and I love the fact that you told us which plants we can put in our backyard, because I always get excited when I see the butterflies instead of the mosquitoes, Megan.
He knows it.
Some mosquitoes are bigger than butterflies, but that's another show topic, I would imagine. A friend of mine's wife raises these little butterflies, and she is infatuated with these. They're very simple little insects, but they're just brilliant. They're absolutely amazing.